Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Professor Cisco, and I'm reaching out to you again on creating a lab. So earlier, excuse me for a second. Earlier, we created a lab. So this lab that we created was called initializing and reloading a router and a switch. Now, I created that lab in NetLabs. What I want to do now, and what I always will do as I proceed through each one of these labs, will be to create the lab in NetLabs and create it in Packet Tracer so you can see how in depth and how deep you can go into becoming a network administrator. So let's look at Packet Tracer right here. Now, the reason I'm doing this, if you know me, you know I'm not really a fan of NetLabs. I'm more of a fan of Packet Tracer. But you know why? Because you know I like Packet Tracer because you get a chance to look behind the curtain, really look into the network, and almost, if not, become an architect in the development of your network. Okay? So that's why we're doing this in Packet Tracer. It gives us an opportunity to dig a little deeper. So let's go ahead and throw our devices up there. Now, if you looked at the first lab, hopefully you did. I hope you did. If you didn't, go back and look at it, then come look at this one. The first thing we're going to do is put the devices up. Now, I'm going to come at you strictly by mind. Yes, I want you to learn how to start developing your labs in Packet Tracer by using your mind. I know this is the beginning. You're just starting classes in Cisco. You got your first one out the way. You're in your second one, or you my students in my first one. But hey, I want you to get to the point where you can begin to dig deeper and stop ignoring your work. Get into your work. If this is going to be a career for you, dig deep, man, or woman, excuse me, ladies, I'm sorry, but dig deep. Okay, let's do this. So the first thing is I need a router. If you remember the topology, you know you need a router. So I'm going to go here and click on the routers. The router I need is a 1941. You should know that. 1941. I know you just looked at the other one. You came over here. I need a switch. And the switch is a 29 what? A 29 what? Somebody tell me. Okay, you can't tell me. It's a 2960. So I'm going to grab that and throw it up here. So we got a 1941 router and we got a 2960 switch. Now we need a couple of PCs. So I'm going to go over here to my end devices and grab me a couple of PCs and slam them on the table. See, I slammed it. That's what pops up when you slam it. So don't slam it, okay? And drop it on there. Now, students, you know what to do from here. And some of you are going to say, well, Professor, I already know this stuff, but it could be a student who really don't know this. So we want to help that student, even if you know it. And if you was in my first class, you know what I promote more. Packet Tracer, doing it in Packet Tracer. But I think you should have the skills to do it in both. Remember, NetLabs teach you how to work as a tech in a tech environment because you always remoting into the switches and router. And trust me, when you get out there, that's what you're going to do. You're going to remote in. But Packet Tracer teaches you how to go deep. Get in there and begin to work behind the curtain. So now we know we need a connector, and you got multiple connectors up here. But what connector do we need if we have a router and a switch right there in front of us? Of course, a console cable. we need to go here. Now, what you need to know about the console cable is that it's a proprietary cable. Cisco is the original creator of this cable, but they may lease it out to other people to make, but they're the original creator. Excuse me, but I'll be drinking tea through this session. And just so you know where I'm at, I'm no longer in the classroom. I'm actually in the office. I left the school and I came to the office because I want to produce this here. And in this environment, it's a closed environment and a sterile environment where I can talk and stuff. Okay, enough with that. So I got my console cable and I'm going to click here. You know that I need RS-232 when I'm using a console cable. I think I got my console cable. Yes, I do. So I'm going to click. Then I'm going to go here, and you know that I need to connect to the console port, which is here, on the router. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the PC over here. And I'm going to choose RS-233, and I'm going to come right here and choose the switch, and I'm going to choose console. Okay. Let's move that over a little. Let's move that here. Let's move that there. I didn't have to move it, but I just like clean areas. Okay. Tea tastes good. If you're a tea drinker, let me know in the comments. I enjoyed myself. Okay, so with that being said, I want to make sure my PCs match up correctly, so I'm going to come right here and click on the PC, and I'm going to backspace, put a dash there, and put an A in there. So that go PCA right there. Then I'm going to click on here, and then I'm going to take that out and put a dash and a B, and that go PCB. Now, with this being said, let's take a moment to really encapsulate. See, I use that word encapsulate, but it don't fit for the situation. But anyway, let's take a look at an understanding of what we are doing. We are initializing the router, and then we're going to reload the router. We are initializing the switch, and we're going to reload the switch, but we're doing it in packet tracer. That says we went from NetLabs, we came to packet tracer, and we stepped our game up because you showing the professor that you can dig a little deep and learn this. Okay? You're just not typing in command codes. You're getting better at what you're doing. Now, if you want to know what this lab is about and all that, of course you're going to go to the first routing and reloading, but right now we just going to complete the project. Okay, so what I want to do now in the switch is I want to go over here to the PC, click on that. I want to go to, look like I got Russian in here. Okay, but we know what we're doing, even if it looks like Russian. It's not going to stop the show. And then I'm going to go right here to the command prompt. In the command prompt, I'm going to hit it a couple. Oh, you know what? I went to command prompt. That's the wrong place to be. See, you were supposed to tell me. I'm supposed to go to the terminal and click on the terminal. And then, there we go. My PC is up and running. Now, what I just did was, the router said, hey, would you like to enter the initial configuration? I said, no, I'm going to do it all by hand myself. Now, entering the initial configuration meant that you already got a you want to initialize the router. So it would have gave you a lot of prompts. What is the computer name? You'd have put that in. What is the IP address of the computer? You'd just put all that in the router, and you just went through steps. But we are Cisco administrators, Cisco technician, network technician. We're gonna do it on our own. We're gonna configure this. Okay. So I'm gonna go with enable. Okay, take myself to privilege mode. Okay, now once I get here, I'm gonna erase. Of course, remember now, of course, you watch me. Let me make sure I'm typing the right stuff. Of course, you watched me earlier complete this. Now you watching me do it in Packet Tracer. Okay, so now I know you're saying, hey, professor, I mean, come on now. I already know how to do this. Yes, I know. But what about the individuals who don't? Okay, let's help them out. And remember, while I'm completing these routers and switches, they progressively get harder because you are doing labs and they progressively getting harder. I'm going to see what students do all of their labs in Packet Tracer. Go for it. I know you can do it. Skill up. Show me that you got the skills. And I know you're saying, Professor, you need to get some rest. Too much. Okay. So now that I did that, what I just did was erase the startup configuration. Now you know that that goes to the RAM and it takes out what we call NVRAM. It takes out any configuration that was previously on that. It empties it out. Now I'm about to reload this particular router. I'm going to go reload. I could go REL and put it in, but like I said, starting out, I'm just going to do that and I'm going to confirm it. Now remember that this router, you have to confirm these things. And as you can see, then once I click confirm, it's automatically going. Now look where it jumped from. It jumped from, I was here, then I got, well, it's too late. It's moving out. That says, would you like to do initial configuration? No, I will not like to do it. And I'm back here. So the router, in essence, has been reloaded and configured. We done. It's over with. The router is completed. Now let's go over here and work on the switch. Okay, I'm going to close that out. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to click on terminal. And then I'm going to click on the switch here. Now, I know some of you going to say, well, Professor, you went through the PC to get to the switch. Why you just didn't double click on the switch and then use the switch terminal to do the work? Now, if you look at these two here, and I just knocked them behind, I don't know what I'm doing. Where is it at? Where's my switches and routers? Okay, here go one here. I'm trying to put them side by side, but it might jump back. Okay, that is. So, one, I went through the PC to get to where I want to configure the router, and the switch. And the other one, I just clicked on the switch. And you can see a real difference. But this is what's important. You get in the habit of clicking on the switch, that's building a bad habit. Because in reality, when you do this job in the real world, you have to go through the PC. So I'm one of them guys who just want to follow the proper way to do things so I don't get sidetracked. And then I get out there and like this student I knew before, he said, well, how do you get in the switch to configure it? Because he thought that all he had to do was go up to the switch and open it up and he could configure it. This is true. This is true. But I'm not laughing at the student. I recognize that the student had learned some bad habits, and that's all it was. So I'm going to close this box. I'm not laughing at the student. I'm laughing at the situation. I don't want you to say, Professor be laughing at us. No, I don't. Man, that tea tastes good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do enable. Now I'm going to shortchange this because you know I like doing shortcuts. Really, I do. I'm just doing the long version because you are in front of me. I'm going to say show flash here because I want to see if we got flash on here. I know we don't because we haven't configured it, but that dot file we want to clean off. So what I'm going to do is delete it. Okay, delete it. And then I'm going to say yes to that. Okay, so that got rid of that particular file. It deleted it. Now, what that meant is if we'd have had some in that particular file, it would have deleted it for us right there. Deleted it. In America. Okay. Now I'm going to erase any startup configuration. Remember, I explained this in the first video. I'm explaining it again. I'm going to erase it. Okay, and here we go. It's done. It's out of there. So this was a short video showing you how to do it in Packet Tracer. Now let's go ahead and reload it to finish it up. Okay, confirm it. And it's reloading. So I erased the startup configuration. I cleaned out the NVRAM and I completed this lab. Simple lab. So let's take a moment to really understand what we just did here. That's my switch. This is my router. Move that over here. And let's just take a second and really talk about the difference of why Packet Tracer over NetLabs. So both of them have some weight to it. I personally prefer Packet Tracer because it makes you build and it makes you look at creating a beautiful network. So here it is. I took the router, the switch, and all this, and I put it in. Now, I know some of you saying, well, what about the real equipment, Professor? Hands down, working on the real equipment is great. NetLabs nor Packet Tracer can beat the real equipment. Neither one of them. But which one will you work on more? Packet Tracer. Because it's free, it's easy to get, and Cisco has given it away to you, but it teaches you how to learn how to develop them sociable skills where you can explain what you are actually doing. So for those of you who really want to learn networking, dig in deep into Packet Tracer and try your best to build your networking. But it's not forced on you. It's for those who are just trying to get the understanding of what they're doing.